Hello, so today I'd like to share with you the good food real fast movement from Epicure, and particularly what we do in our cooking classes. I've had some questions about that and I'd like to give some information, and instead of explaining I thought I'd show you what we do in our cooking classes with Epicure. So an Epicure cooking class is when at least 4 or 5 people come together with an Epicure consultant and they do one recipe that takes less than 20 minutes from raw to ready. It can be a dessert, it can be a meal, it can be a brunch, breakfast, anything that the host decides, and we do it together. So when I go to someone's home, we choose the recipe ahead of time. The host invites 4 or 5 friends, and when we come, the ingredients are there. We make a small quantity. It's not a full meal. We're just trying things out and tasting them. And then we share like tips and ideas and things that we can do with every single ingredient, or substitutes we can use. And also I share about the Epicure products and how we can use them as meal solutions to save on time, energy, money when cooking. And I shared tons of ideas of how to use each product. So even if we only do one recipe, we end up with dozens of ideas, tips, and also the fun of being together. So how does a virtual cooking class work? Well, a virtual cooking class is that I either present a recipe online, or the host also invites some of her friends or people that she knows to an online cooking class. And in the same way as at home, she chooses with me the recipe that we do together, and then we prepare that recipe together. So if we do it ahead of time, everybody could actually have the ingredients at home and the products as well, and we could all cook at the same time while I'm showing it online. If the shipping delays are too long, because for example right now with the social distancing, the shipping delays are longer than usual. It's usually a couple days. Right now it's like 2 weeks. So maybe we can't cook long, we can't cook together. So you can just watch what I show, and the host and the guests can do the same thing, and they can just have fun. And then I give so many tips and so many ideas that are applicable for what you have at home. And you don't have to be making the one recipe that I'm showing. It's kind of just to get together and share. And what really makes it fun is when people participate, when people make comments, or they share their own recipes, their own ideas, their questions, the things that they need to have troubleshooting with, or things that they'd like to change, things that work really well for them, tools that don't work, tools that work in the kitchen. I mean, it's when the conversation is happening, because I am not just that interesting when it's just me talking. So just to show you an idea of what we do is, in our cooking classes, we always use our collections that are called the Good Food Real Fast collections. And why do we use these recipes? It's because they're tried and they're tested. You don't want to be doing a 15-minute recipe with me that I haven't tried or tested before. And they're adapted to a cooking class. So they're adapted to a group. There's something that everybody can do. Also, it's usually something that most people enjoy or like. And it's always a recipe that takes like 15 to 20 minutes from raw to ready. And we have these ready-made collections that are called Good Food Real Fast. For example, the one I showed a couple days ago on this group was the Good Greek Real Fast. So in each collection, what's also fun is that we have the ingredients that you need to do all the recipes with the products in the collection. You also recipes, there's 5 recipes in here, and there's thousands on the website, so other ones are possible. And then see, there's several products, and you can make the recipes tons and tons of times. And the other reason I use these collections is because there's actually the cost per meal. So I have the cost, for example, of a Caesar salad, or spinach pies. This is the Greek one, the Greek salad, for example. You have the recipe, you also have the price per portion once it's prepared with the groceries that you need. So that's why I always use these collections. The other reason is because all Epicure consultants have these collections, so it helps me to train new consultants if I'm always using the same collections. But don't worry, there's like 6 collections, and each one has at least 5 recipes, so we can actually do 30 different recipes in our cooking classes. So this is the one that I did a couple days ago on the group. And the other one that I wanted to show you is we have seasonal collections as well. So the next one I can do here would be the Good Burger Real Fast. So we have options for veggie burgers, and there's so many different ways to make them. Every single thing I show you substitutes that you can use as far as ingredients you already have at home, so that if you don't like one of the ones I suggest, you can make another one. If you don't like the recipe I'm making, you can definitely use any of the products in a different way. So we have a burger sauce mix, we have a Tuscan chicken burger mix, and we also have the burger seasoning. So there's dozens of recipes that can be made with this, and this is definitely what I use for a lot of my cooking classes, whether they're online or in person in the summer. So I would like to suggest that we could do this soon on this group. And to finish, I'd like to give a suggestion, like just an example of what I do in a cooking class. So for example, someone asked me on the group what you can do with the faux broth. So we have broth mixes. We have chicken, beef, veggie, and we have the faux and the miso. So they're written on there that it's a broth. Everything has a name with Epicure. You have dip mixes or dressing mix, but for real, like the secret is you can put it anywhere you want. So that's why I'm just going to give you one example of what I do in a cooking class. If I'm talking about a product that goes in a recipe, I'm going to let you know that on the back of the jar, there's several recipes. So for example, here with the faux broth, it gives some examples. You can make a noodle bowl, and you can make just plain broth. One thing that's really special with our broths, like all of our products, is the low sodium. You cannot find something that competes with this as far as low sodium on the market. But you can also make things that are not a broth. For example, you could make a quinoa bowl with it. You could also use it to cook your rice, quinoa. There's so many different things that you could do. So one thing that can help when you want to know how to use a product is you can smell it. Like, does it make you think of something you'd like to have it with? Maybe that's just enough, you know, to do it with what comes to mind. Another way to know how to use it is the texture. Are there big pieces? Is it smaller, finer, kind of like seasoned salt? If it's smaller pieces, then maybe you could just make potatoes with it. Potatoes, vegetables, it will coat the vegetables or the potatoes. A lot of things work really well with tofu, for example. You could also just fry tofu with this mix. You don't have to make the broth. So I would also say you could make an easy noodle soup, you know, just cook noodles in this. I mean, it doesn't even have to be particular kinds of noodles. It could be any pasta. I mean, anything is possible. So you can just try things out. Try things out. So you can either follow the recipe on the jar. You can kind of just like smell it. If something comes to mind, you can try it out. And also you can look at the texture and think, you know, if it's small, if it's very fine, then it will stick to vegetables, it will stick to potatoes, it will, you know, you can just think about it and look at it, and you can try things out. So it's very rare that you'll ruin something or that it won't be edible because you did not do the right thing with Epicure. So I like it. One of the consultants leaders in my organization says that, you know, everybody has their favorite with Epicure. Like mine's the guacamole. I put it everywhere. I mean, I've made rice when we used to eat meat. I put it in the meat. I make salsa with my guacamole mix. I mean, I put it everywhere. And like she says, what I like about her, she says everybody has their favorite and they put it everywhere except in their bath. You know, it's like in your kitchen, it can go in absolutely anything. One last example is our cinnamon. Would you believe my husband actually, he doesn't even look at what kind of mix it is. He just tries them and everything. He's put cinnamon in salad before, in regular vegetable salad, and everybody in our house actually ate it and enjoyed it. So have fun, enjoy. There's no expert other than you for what you would like, and I'd be happy to share one of these collections with you, one of these recipes in a cooking class, either for you and a couple of your friends and people that you know. In a private group, we can have fun together and do the recipe together, or on this group, I kind of like more of an open group where I'm doing the cooking class and you can all join in with me. Hopefully we can soon do more cook-alongs when people can order faster and get the products in time. And also in the grocery stores, we don't always have all the ingredients that we need right now to do all of our recipes. But of course, there's substitutes, like I said. So I'm looking forward to cooking with you. And I'd love for you to tell me what you'd like to try out, what we can do together. And thank you very much for watching me today.